everybody, just going through a soft glam look and a product breakdown of what I'm using. I'm using the Helen E Cosmetics eye primer in shade 2, and I'm just carving out my brow, and I will be priming the lid with this also. And as you can see, we've gone for a structured brow in today's look. Using the eye primer off the back of my hand, just placing this on the Zoeva 144 concealer brush, popping this onto the eyelid and just really dragging this out, and then patting this down as much as we can to get it a little bit tacky but set in place for the eyeshadow that we're going to put down next. Taking a clean buffing brush, I'm just buffing out the outer edges just so it's a more seamless finish and not as harsh for when the look is complete. I believe this is the Jessup brush I'm using, and yeah, as you can see, I'm going on the lid as well just to buff this through so there's no creases before we use the eyeshadow. For this look, I'm using the Be Perfect's Clientele palette, and we're going to be going in with the shade Dirty Tan throughout. So I'm using the Cosmic Brushes, the pastel eye set for this look, just taking that shade Dirty Tan from the Be Perfect palette through to my crease and just above the crease, and concentrating on the outer part of the eye and just bringing this forward and backwards, dragging it along to blend it through. A large fluffy brush to soften out the edges and blend this all in together. Also for this look, I'm going in with the Jordana Tisha eye base and sparkle in the shade Glitz. I'm just applying the base down first on the inner part of my eye, which this then makes it tacky for the glitter to then stick down after. Using the Cosmic flat brush, I'm placing the glitter just onto here and tapping off just the excess a little bit, and then I'm going to be placing this down on the inner part of the eye and just go over this a couple of times so we get the pigment there, and as you can see, the glitter speaks for itself. So just keep patting that in till we build up to the ideal amount that we want. Going back in with the same brush that we used through the crease with the same shade Dirty Tan on, just going backwards and forwards to blend the glitter and the shadow throughout. Then just taking the W7 Mascara Lash Tastic and doing just a couple of layers on this before we apply our chosen false lashes. Prima lashes in the style Holly. Going in with the L'Oreal Hydra Genius on a big MAC fluffy brush and just pushing this into the skin and buffing it in also in circular motions, just everywhere I can possibly get, and let this sink right in before we then go in with the foundation and all of our base products. The two foundations that I'm mixing together today are the Maybelline Superstay and the Maybelline Fit Me. Then taking the large Peaches and Cream brush, I'm just popping this down onto my face and really buffing and bouncing this into the skin so we get an even coverage all over. Then I'm going in with the Cosmic Brushes Beauty Blender. I've added a little bit more foundation here just so a little bit more coverage in certain areas which I would like today. And I'm just using the Beauty Blender just to dab this all into the skin, and also just to give a more flawless finish I find going in with a Beauty Blender after using my face brush as well. This is my personal preference, not everyone does it, but I find it gives myself a better coverage. Going in with some cream contour, which I am using the Barry M foundation stick in the shade Fudge. Just applying this to the cheekbone area and the forehead area. Going back in with the Beauty Blender, and I'm pushing all this product into the skin just to blend this. And I prefer to use the Beauty Blender to blend cream products in. I've applied the cream contour, I always go back in with the face brush that I have used and just blend this all back in together. Taking the Barry M All Night Long concealer in the shade Cookie, I'm just going to highlight the areas of my face, so the chin area, my nose and my forehead, and also my upper lip, and then I will also go in and do under my eyes once I've blended this out. Taking the Peaches and Cream PC18 brush, just before I use my beauty blender, I just quickly roughly buff this into the skin, and then I will repeat the same process with a beauty blender on top of these cream products just to blend it all in. And repeating the same process with the same concealer, just under the eyes and back through with the brush to blend this in quickly, and then over the top with the beauty blender. I do find which way works for me when doing under eye concealer is using the brush first to pat this all in, as I find it doesn't soak up as much product, whereas if I went straight in with the beauty blender under the eye, I personally feel it soak up a lot of product for myself. So I will do this step first using the brush and then just dab over slightly with the beauty blender, but not right under the eye. Then taking a flat brush and the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in the shade 105, just going over the top of where I have highlighted and concealed the areas of my face, just pressing this down lightly before I then go in with the chosen powder to bake my face. So to bake with, the powder I'm going in with today is the RCMA loose powder. I'm just dipping this in to my beauty blender and then popping this on my skin under the eyes and onto the chin area. As I get quite oily on my chin area, I prefer to bake, and I will leave this on for about 5 minutes and then I'll dust off with a fluffy brush. Going in with the Milani bronzer in the shade Pecan, I'm just going to pop these and bronze up my face basically on the areas that we'd previously put down the cream contour, so on the cheekbones and the forehead area, and slightly put some under my jawline, but buffing this into the skin and bronzing up the face using this bronzer. Going back in with the RCMA loose powder and placing this on a beauty blender, and I'm just going to go underneath my cheekbones just so this gives it a more structured look that I find, and this is a step that I do most days, and I just leave this on for about 5 minutes and then dust away with another fluffy brush. It just gives a more chiselled look, I personally find. Taking the Jordana Tisha blusher in the shade Fruit Punch, just on a small contour brush I use, and I'm going to pop this on the apples of my cheek and just sweep it up a little bit into my bronzer just so it blends together with the bronzer, and I just layer this up a couple of times until I'm happy with how the blusher looks. And with this blusher, it's got a little glow to it, so it's the perfect blush I find. And after all the powder we've used, I go in with a mist spray. This is the Superdrug mist spray, and spray this all over my face and let this soak back into the skin to refresh the skin and make it more skin-like again. Then I'm going in with the Lick and Lash highlighter in the shade Trust Fund and just putting this on the high points of my face, so on top of my cheekbones where the blusher is, and on the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose, and using my fingers just to blend this in. Using the Got To Be brow gel and a spoolie just through my brows again to keep these in place. Then going in with the Inglot 77 gel liner, I'm going to put this in the waterline. Then go back in with the palette and use the dark black shade just to smudge this underneath. Going in with the Morphe lip liner Honeymoon, just going to line the outer parts of my lips with this, and then going in with the Peaches and Cream gloss in Sisterhood and applying this all over because we know I live for a gloss. So as you can see, the look is now all finished and complete. Just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that does support me, and especially when I create these IGTVs, it's new to me, but thank you always.